All right, what's up, guys? Today is 9:13, and we are starting this live session a little bit later than what we've always done, but we're going to kick it off by asking questions first. So, for those of you who have hopped on the live webinar session, if you guys have written down any questions over the past week, then you guys can share them now. And if not, our game plan is to break down the charts at first, and we're just going to go live, breaking down every single chart that we have throughout the previous week, just to get a better idea of what to expect in the upcoming days and the upcoming weeks in the market. And afterwards, if we still have time in our hour sessions, then we can go into a little bit of knowledge dropping for you guys, just because I've been watching a lot of webinars this past weekend, and I would love to help you guys out with anything that I've learned. So first off, any questions for you guys?
I have one. Can you go over the charts and kind of show us like what does Mark Andre need, or what are the credentials or steps that you need to take to see that, hey, I should actually enter this trade?
Yeah. I could do that, man. I could do that.
Sweet.
We could do that whenever we go and break down the session. So if you guys have any more questions, then shoot them now. If not, then I can go straight to Zevin's question. By the way, I'm wearing a crown right now, just so
There you go.
There you go, right there. So this is not my room. Any questions though, really quick? No.
Not yet. No.
All right. Cool. Well then, let me just share my screen really quick, guys. That was easy. All right, Zevin. I guess we're on to yours first. So just let me know if you can see my screen then.
I sure can.
Cool. Okay, so like always, guys, open up my demo account for you guys. What I like to do is I like to mark up my charts on the actual computer, and because a lot of people have asked me this, do you trade live on your computer? Do you trade live on your phone? Like, what do you like to do? I like to trade up live on my telephone. That's weird. I never did telephone. Cell phone.
What?
Just because I like it a lot. It's a lot more versatile. I can just take it anywhere, and I feel like it's a lot easier to mark up my computer chart. And that way I can just make a quick entry and a quick exit just on my phone. So I have both open whenever I trade. Okay, so you guys can follow suit. You guys can do the complete opposite. That's just me. Okay, so what we can do is we can look at the Euro USD first, and I like to start off by looking at the 4-hour chart. And man, okay, so I honestly haven't looked at the charts a lot since before this call, but just looking at the Euro USD, I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. That is a pretty nice hold off the Mayo. That is a pretty nice hold off the Mayo. I don't know if you guys see that or not. But another thing to realize, guys, whenever we're looking at charts and whenever we have these indicators on our charts marked up, it's there to help us. Okay. If you guys have SARs, parabolic SARs, if you guys have Fibonacci's, if you guys have stochastics, if you guys have RSI, if you guys have all these different indicators, okay, they're there to help us. And if they're not helping you, if you just have them there just to take up space, then you guys should just take them off, just because we only want things that are going to help us analyze the markets, okay? The purpose of the indicators is just to help our eyes, to visualize what's actually there, okay? Just like a piece of artwork. And if you're clouding that piece of artwork with junk and just garbage along the way, you don't want that, okay? So just take it off. For myself, I like moving averages because they're colorful and they're cool. And they're helpful, but mainly I like trend lines, okay, horizontal trend lines, resistance, okay, supports, and also diagonal trend lines, okay, and I also like candlestick patterns. So what Steve Morrow talks about, candlestick patterns, M's and W's, stop hunts, 3 levels of rise, 3 levels of drops, okay, so that kind of stuff, and that's not really indicators, that's just knowledge that we have. But back to the chart, we look at the 4-hour and the Euro USD, and the first thing I would do, again, I would open up my 4-hour. If I see a big move that just happened, then I would fib it, okay? But the last major move I see is probably this drop, and I really wouldn't fib this drop because we're all the way over here, and this happened about like 2 weeks ago, so I wouldn't really do that. But we see here that it is pretty slow. It is a bullish trend though, and it's been rising kind of slowly, but it hit Mayo. And it's been following this trend perfectly, because what I've seen is that on the 1-hour chart, we noticed this earlier, that it's been following this very nice bullish trend, okay? And so what I would tell you guys tonight in the group chat is to watch for the retest in the Euro, okay? Because it is going to retrace. I don't know if it's going to retrace tonight or in the morning, So look for it in the London session. If it doesn't, then look for it in the opening of the US session. But I would look for it to retest, and I would not enter the retest. Okay, and here's why. Whenever we're looking at the 4-hour chart, this doesn't have to be just in the euro. This is every single chart. Whenever we're looking at the 4-hour chart, we're looking for the actual trend of the market. Okay, that's the question that we should ask ourselves. What is the trend of the market? Okay, and so for you guys that might not understand that fully, then ask. Okay, that's the whole purpose of Elite, is to just pick our brains and learn the material that we've learned at a much faster rate. Okay, because that's what mentors are for. We're just here to help you guys out and master the secrets as fast as possible, much faster than we've ever had. Okay, so the 4-hour chart is just to understand what the trend of the market is. If the momentum is a bullish momentum, okay, well then you shouldn't even look at trades to enter for scalping short plays, because that's just a waste of time. Okay, if there's a bullish momentum, that means if the market is rising, we shouldn't look for scalps of short plays. Okay, because that's going against the trend, and the trend is our friend. Okay, so we only want to look for scalps that are bullish, that goes along with the trend. Okay, so we see here that the trend is obviously bullish. So we look at the 1-hour chart, and again, I would just wait for it to retest. I wouldn't even play this trade. Okay, I would just wait for it to retest, and just like you guys know me, just like how I say every single trade, wait for confirmation. Okay, wait to see what it does. If it retests and it holds, wait for confirmation and go long. Okay, because we've seen here every single time that it's retest and it held, it goes long. Every single time it comes down, retest, holds, it goes long. Okay, so wait for the retest. This has been 3 levels of rise. So what I would just I would assume, I don't want to say assume, but what I would assume is the retest and actual break here for it to go short. But I'm not sure, and I don't want to call that. So what I would do is I would just wait and see what it does on this trend line. Okay, and of course we can do other trend lines as well. Maybe something like this, boom, right there. Maybe something like.
But you do wait for it to like actually close before you enter in the trade, or do you just like go off intuition and you're just like, okay, I know that this thing's holding, it's going up, and it's no longer hitting the line. So.
Well, that's whenever we go to the 15-minute. So.
Okay.
Let's look at the 15-minute, because 15-minute is what we look at whenever we enter trades. Okay. I don't want you guys to enter trades off the 1 hour. I don't want you guys to enter trades off the 4 hour, the day, or the month. That would just be a complete waste. So whenever you actually enter a trade, we look at the 15-minute every single time. Okay, sometimes I look at the 5-minute, just to be a little bit more precise. But 90% of the time, I look at the 15-minute to enter a trade. Okay, and so what I'm looking at here is like what you're saying, the perfect time to enter a trade. Okay. And this could be for a confirmation candle. This could be for whenever it breaks, whenever it holds, any of that stuff. Okay. So just to give you guys an example, let's just go back to wherever it last retested, right here. And obviously, as you guys can see, this trend line here was a perfect hold on the 1-hour chart, but on the 15-minute, you see it kind of broke a little bit here. So it isn't as valid on the 15-minute than it was on the 1 hour. And that's just because simply whenever you're changing charts from different time for a 15-minute to 1 hour to 4 hour, the candles are going to be a little bit different. Okay, just because all this right here was just one candle. All this was one candle. And so obviously whenever you're looking at the 1 hour chart, it's just an average of these last 4 candles. And these were all an average of 1 hour candle. Okay, but obviously it could have done this, it could have done this, but this was all one hour candle. Okay, so what we can do, if you guys wanted to, you guys can make another trend from here following the 15-minute chart trend. Okay, just to make it a little bit nicer for you to visualize on the 15-minute where it could penetrate and where it can hold. Okay, that's what I like to do sometimes. And but let's just scroll back up to here. Again, what I would do is I would wait for it to retest. So it's going to retrace, and whenever it retests, we're going to wait for it to see what the next play is. Okay, if it's going to hold, then what I would do is I would wait for it to rise just a little bit, and then I would buy. Okay, obviously, the more indicators that is pointing towards a rise or pointing towards a fall, the better and the faster I would take that trade. Okay, so let's just say that there's a bunch of indicators saying that it's going to rise, even before it even comes down to retest. what I would do is as soon as it holds, just to make sure it doesn't break, because anything can happen. But before it even rises, let's just say there's 3 indicators causing it to. Let's just say there's an EMA. Let's just say there's a fib and a bunch of horizontal lines. Okay. What I would do is I wouldn't even wait for it to rise. As long as it holds, then I would buy at the hold. Okay. Also, vice versa. There's a bunch of indicators whenever it comes down to retest. There's a bunch of indicators saying, hey, it's about to drop. Okay, just like what I said, 3 levels of rise. That's one indicator. What about a fib? That's another one. What about a candlestick pattern? We see an M. That's another indicator. Okay, so without even waiting for it to wait for confirmation to see it drop first, I would just sell it right at the break because I know that it's going to drop. Okay, that is about 20% of the time that I trade. I don't even have to wait for it. That's about 20%. 80% of the time, I do wait for it, just in case, because I'm a very cautious trader. Okay, so so that's the way that I enter trades. Like I said, the majority of the time I do enter on the 15-minute, but sometimes I do like to look at the 5-minute just because it's a little bit more precise. And also, like I told you guys, I always wait for confirmation, and that means a lot of things, and it's different for every single trader. For myself, sometimes confirmation is waiting one 15-minute candle later. Sometimes it's waiting one 5-minute candle later. Sometimes it's looking for another trend line or another indicator that'll confirm that movement in the market. Okay, whatever it is for you, master that. Okay, because sometimes for some traders, it's one 15-minute candle. For some others, that might be a long time to wait, and that could be a possible missed entry in a trade. So that's up to you to really practice and experience for yourself how you like to wait for a confirmation, whether it's a 15-minute, whether it's a 5-minute candle, whether it's just another indicator that you found, whether it's another candlestick pattern that you found, whatever it may be. Okay? So that's up to you guys. I can't really tell you what's the best way to confirm a market movement. That's going to be really up to you guys. But again, back to the 15-minute. My trade for the night would probably be just to wait for it to come down to retest this trend line here. And I'm looking at the market really quick. Yeah, I would say wait for the market to come down. I wouldn't even play this sell trade here. I would just wait for it to come down to retest, and we'll just completely wait for the next move. If it holds, I'm going to tell it to you guys to just go long. If it breaks, I'll tell you guys to go short. Okay? So that's Euro USD. Let's look at the GBP USD 4-hour chart. Take a little drink break. Okay, we're good. All right, 4-hour chart. Like I said, I haven't really looked at the charts pretty much at all today. Been driving a lot today. So right away, I see this pretty nice bullish momentum here. And it's already had one nice rise after consolidation, another rise. So I would say the bullish momentum is still valid and still true. So again, just like how we said in the Euro USD, the trend is our friend. We don't want to go against the trend of the market. Okay? So whenever I'm looking for this possible play, of course we're going to go to the 1 hour, of course we're going to go to the 15-minute, but I'm going to wait for confirmation from those 2 charts to see if this momentum and this trend is actually true. Okay? So I'm only going to look for long plays. Okay? And also this 800 EMA, as you can see here, let me just zoom in a little bit. This has played perfectly off the 800 EMA. Okay, you see that it broke, and it actually came down to retest, and it held pretty nicely in the 4-hour chart. So just another great way to look for EMAs. EMAs are just another way of moving horizontal and support and resistance lines. Okay, I said that really wrong. They're just a moving support and resistance line, basically. Okay. So whenever we talk about how the euro just hit the Mayo, or 3 pins to the blueberry, all that tells us is just it hit a major trend line. Okay, it hit a major moving support line or moving resistance line. Okay, and this is just another good example of how it actually acted like a pretty strong support line here. Okay, it held pretty nicely. It tried to break, as you can see from this candle wick, but pulled back and just shot up long, and is following this trend line perfectly. So, what were you going to say, Zevin?
Oh, I was going to say, so on the 4 hour, so you're looking at it and you see that it breaks. like actually this is a perfect example, except you're on the 1 hour. You saw that it broke. How would you know not to just go short on it then?
What are you talking about? You talking
Go
about
back go back to the 1 hour on
oh 1 hour,
GBP.
1 hour.
That'd
Okay.
be going against trends, Evan.
Oh, true that, true that. Never mind, I forgot.
Trend is your friend.
Hmm. Yeah, the trend's your friend, dude. You never want to go against the trend, just because. Here, look, check this out. So we see that it held right here, right? So we go long. We know that's going to come back. We know that's going to retest, right? But we don't know how strong it's going to retest. See this? This is a pretty sideways motion. So even if you were to sell right here, you wouldn't even catch that many pips. It did retest, yes, and it did go short, but look at that distance, okay? So we don't know the strength of the retest. We don't know the length, the amount of time it's going to take for it to retest. It might do this number. It might go all the way up here and just completely come down to retest in like 2 candles. We don't know. It could do this where it's a very weak retest and just and what is this, like almost 10 4-hour candles retest. So we never want to go against the trend of the market. We know the actual trend is a bullish trend, and that just confirms our play of just going long. Okay, so we don't even want to look at short plays. Okay, so this is the 1 hour. Let me zoom in a little bit. I'm sorry, zoom out a little bit. Okay, let me zoom back up. Boom. Boom. Okay, we're good. Again, guys, the 4-hour trend line was a very good match, but the 1 hour, just because it's a little bit different, it broke in a couple of places, and it kind of moved the trend line a little bit. So I'm just going to replace that trend line there. And as you guys can see here, it's a little bit nicer. Okay, we do see a very bullish trend market. It came down to retest, it held, and it shot back up. Now it's actually it actually came down to retest again, and now it's holding. So that just confirms our 4-hour market that it is a bullish trend. Okay, so we're not going to look at short plays whatsoever. So now we're going to go to the 15-minute. Now we're going to look for an actual play to take. Okay, so this is where it gets fun because now we get to mark up our charts. Well, I already did just a little bit here. And just to give you guys some information, all these horizontal lines I've placed before in the past. I haven't placed any of these recently. I think the last trend lines I've placed were back on like Wednesday or Thursday or something like that. So just to give you guys some information, look how well they held. Okay, this just goes to show you that this is a pretty valid trend line here. Okay, the 1.53982 trend line in the GBP USD chart. Okay, that's a pretty valid trend line here. I could probably delete this one just because that one's not so pretty. And this one, wow, this one held very nicely here. This was back on the 10th of September, so I think it was a Thursday night. It was a 1.54705 horizontal resistance line here. It held very nicely on 2 retests. So whenever we're looking, okay, so this is a 15-minute chart again. Whenever we're looking for an actual play, yes, we're going to want to go long, but we're going to see if it breaks this horizontal resistance line, okay? Because if it does, just by looking back a couple of days ago, we saw that it tried to break twice, and it couldn't. It failed both times. Okay, so we know that it's pretty strong. It's not the strongest trend line in the world, but it's a pretty strong trend line. Okay, so it just gives us another confirmation, if it does break, to keep your long play in. Okay. So with this play, again, it's a little early to call tonight, guys. I like to trade starting around 11 p.m. my time, which is midnight Eastern time, which is the last couple of hours of the Asian session, and I also like to trade the first couple of hours in London. So it's a little bit early for me to call out any trades right now, but my best guess for tonight is that it's going to fiddle along this line here. It's just going to fiddle just like this. And this is a 15-minute chart, so I think it might come down to retest or just pull back up. But this is a bullish market, so look for that long play, okay? I don't have anything right now. It's a little bit off our trend line that we're going to be playing. And so to give you guys another idea, to give you guys another golden nugget to look for an open or to look for an entry for a trade, I would never trade this market here unless it's actually touching a trend line or multiple trend lines or multiple indicators, okay, whatever you guys are using. So if you guys are using fibs, okay, obviously we'll look at the 32, or the 38, sorry, and the 62, right? Those are the two most powerful trend lines in the Fibonacci, okay? But let's just say that it's nowhere even near the 38, or it's nowhere even near the 62. I would never enter that trade until it's actually touching the 38, or it's touching the 62. The same thing with this trend line here, okay? If this market is all the way out here, let's just say that this horizontal line wasn't on my chart, okay? We didn't know about this horizontal resistance line. And all that we had was this trend line, and it's a pretty strong trend line. But let's just say that it's all the way out here. We have no idea what's going to happen. This can continue to rise, or this can just reverse and just completely retest the market in 2 candles. We have no idea what's going to happen, right? But whenever it's actually near, whenever it's touching our indicators, we know that there's a play about to happen, okay? And like I said, it can do 2 things. It can either hold and go bullish, or either can break and reverse, okay, and go short. But until it's actually here, we don't have a play, okay? Or right here, we don't have a play, okay? Right now we do, whenever it's touching. But anywhere else right here, I would not enter a trade. That would just be foolish, okay? So that's GBP/USD. Let's look at the yen. This is the 4-hour. And okay.
I'm actually already short on this. So definitely tell me what you think. Should I get out right now, or stay in, or?
You said you're going short right now?
Yeah, I've been short since it's fell, like from that blue candle almost.
Oh, nice. Nice, nice. Okay. Yeah, because look at this right here. Did you look at that?
No, no, I did not.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. Well, I kind of skipped to the 15-minute, but what I would do, man, is I would look at this. Let's try to break this multiple times. Those wicks are right on point. And let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, we have this here, but we also have another one here. Let's see how valid this trend line is. Right there. Oh, that is perfect. That is perfect. You see that? Okay, let me zoom back in. Okay, so 120.433. Keep your short play in until it gets to this intersection. Okay.
And then you think it'll go up?
And let me see. Let me do my full analysis really quick. 4-hour chart. It's doing tidal waves. I can't really call that. Maybe I would say it's bullish just a little bit, just a hair right here.
Because I was even looking like, try and look at the week for me, man. The week is what really had me like, this is gonna be something that I might be able to hold for a while.
Let me see the week. Let me see the week. Okay, let me see.
Because it just, well, my explanation is because it just did the retracement and now it's falling off the retracement. Like, it just had a whole week of it going up off of the fall. So, like, what my brain tells me is it's going to continue down. But that's just me, and we'll see how it plays out this week as well. That's the exciting part.
Wait, so are you holding this this short play for a couple days? Are you swinging it, or are you just scalping it?
It started out as a scalp, but like looking at the week, it really depends on if it hits my stop loss or not.
Yeah.
My stop loss is at break even, well, around break even, so like if it hits it, then I'm not gonna re-enter unless it freaking does something crazy.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Let me check back on the 4-hour. You see how well the 800 EMA has held here, and the 121 mark. Let me look at the 1-hour really quick. You see, I don't like JPY though, man. JPY right now is kind of doing this thing.
It does do some fucking fugazi bullshit.
Yeah, just
sorry, pardon my mouth, but yeah, it definitely does some weird shit.
What I would do, man, you see, I would just look at the 15-minute, honestly, for this. I just like scalping too much, to be honest. What I would do is I would just wait for this intersection. I would hold your short play until here. I don't think it's going to break earlier, so I would just keep it in until here. And by then, you're probably going to be up, what is that, like
20-some pips. It's not moving that much.
Yeah, 25 pips, 30 pips. So I would wait until it gets here. And this is a pretty strong trend line. I'm going to zoom back out. Yeah, this is a pretty strong trend line, dude. So if it breaks, I would just say, yeah, that's a pretty strong trend line. I would just wait for a 5 minute candle maybe, just because this is so strong. I'll wait for a 5 minute candle and enter, and then as soon as I'm up 5, 10 pips, move stop loss to break even, and go even
Okay.
further. Probably
Okay.
wait
So
until this.
okay. So that brings up another question then. So should I even have my stop loss at break even yet, or should I raise it above break even because it's at break even right now, but it's doing some crappy bull right now, so it's just going up and down. I don't know if it's going to hit my stop loss, and if it hits my stop loss, I'm going to be just pissed off. So do you
Well,
think
how many pips are you up right now? That it really depends on how many pips you're in profit.
um I am up around 25, 25.
25 pips. Okay, so what I would do is I would move it until you're in profit from your stop
Wait,
loss.
I lied. Like 15 or 10, 10. I just did the math. 10.
Okay, so if you're up 10 pips, just keep it at break even. What I would do is wait until you're up 15, then move it up 5 pips. So you're always going to have your stop loss to your market price like 10 pips away.
Okay.
So that's going to be like the minimum. So, wait. Yeah, the minimum. Yeah. So you can keep it at break even whenever you're up 15 pips or 20 pips. But what I would do is if I'm up 20 pips, I would move it up 10 pips in profit. Okay, so there's a 10 pip difference from my stop loss to my market price.
Makes sense.
Okay, so that's what I would do. But again, on this trade, I would just wait until it gets here. And by the looks of it, I think it might just pop up again.
I think
So
so
I
too.
would, yeah, so I would just kind of wait for it and probably close it out. If it does break, I would probably just close it out just because I know it's
If
going
it
to go up.
breaks this,
So yeah, if it breaks this trend line here to pop up, because you have your short play in. So
oh,
yeah, even if
well,
let's just say like even if your stop loss is all the way up here, and the market breaks this trend line down in here, I would just close it automatically because I know it's going to hit my stop loss eventually.
okay, then I have another question. So say it breaks the strong resistance down there and actually like holds. Would you're just gonna hold it then? I should hold it for like as long
Yeah,
as
yeah,
possible
yeah,
then.
yeah. If it breaks the horizontal support line, oh yeah, hold it for sure, and then move your stop loss to like 5 pips above this horizontal support line
Perfect. Okay.
because yeah, it would take a lot to probably go back up and hit your stop loss. So probably like 5 pips up. Okay, CHF. Let's look at that bad boy for a second. Okay, so the trend of the market. The trend of the market. Let me zoom out a little bit. The trend of the market. All right, well, we see that we have a little W here. Okay, consolidation, another rise, another level of rise, another consolidation. So what I would call is another rise with another consolidation afterwards. Okay, so I would consider this another bullish trend. Okay, so let's go to the 1 hour chart. Let's see if it confirms that. Okay,
Jeez.
the Mayo, which is the 200 EMA, has held nicely and acted very perfectly as a moving support line here. And we saw that it broke, and it did break with conviction. So it dropped all the way down to the 800 EMA in the 1 hour chart. Let me zoom in a little bit. Uh, let's see if I see anything. Oh, yes, I do. Let's see how well this works. Let's see how well that works. I don't like that too much. I don't like that too much. I don't like this. I like this better. No, I don't. Scratch that, guys. Let's see. I'm just going through my thought process right now. Hold on 1 second. Scratch that too. Let's see here. What do we got? What do we got? Um, see, I don't really like this. This is a weird consolidation phase, man. To be honest, this is just this honestly is a great way to steal people's money as a market maker. This is just a great way to trick traders and to grab as much money away from retail traders as possible. So my best guess and my thought process with this is to kind of stay away from that because it looks a little ugly, to be honest. It's not the prettiest market I've seen. So let me move to the 15-minute. Let's see if it changed my mind. I mean, there's that, but let's see here. The market price isn't really close to that, so that's okay. We'll keep that in for future reference. Let's see here. Yeah, we can call that. It's in consolidation right now. So what does that tell us? It tells us that this is a pretty good trend line here. And we could have caught that drop. Man, we could have caught that drop. When was market open right now? I'm gonna be pissed if that was. Okay, good. That was Thursday night. Did we catch that Thursday night, guys? Did we catch the drop in yen Thursday night? I really hope we did.
I don't recall if we did or not, I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't recall either. But I really hope we did because that's a pretty nice trend line there. Anyways, guys, so what I would do with this is I would form my consolidation tunnel right now. So I would do this little number here, and I would just play this out. Okay. So again, like I say, almost every single time, whenever it breaks consolidation, look for the zigzag pattern. And what I mean by that is if it breaks high, look for the initial rise, but then the quick retestment, and look for the major rise afterwards. Okay, same thing with the drop. Look for the initial drop, but then the retracement right away, and then the final and major drop afterwards. Okay, so I would just wait for this play to eventually break the high or the low of the consolidation phase. I don't really like consolidation. I never trade consolidation. I hope you guys don't either. Flip it NZD. NZD. Okay. Okay. Got that little number here. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay. Let's see here. We got this little number 2 right there. Just a quick little number. Nothing big. Okay. We got that. What else? This seems to be a valid horizontal line at the 0.6325 handle. And it just broke on the 4-hour candle. So let's see if it holds for another 4-hour candle. If it holds above this if it holds above this horizontal line on this 4-hour candle, then I would consider this to still be a pretty bullish trend. Okay, let's see if the 1 hour confirms that. I would say the 1 hour pretty sure it validates that confirmation with this trend line here. Okay. Let's see here. Why did this hold right here just like that? Why did it do that? Why did it do that? Okay. So yeah, guys, it just broke this 1 hour trend line here, and it also broke the horizontal support line here. So my confirmation says it's going to continue to rise. Okay. You can even, I don't know how strong this would be, you could even say that this is a pretty valid trend line here. But I would watch it. If it breaks, if it doesn't make this a trend line valid, I would just delete it, but keep it in there. Okay. What else? That's all I pretty much see in the 1 hour. Let's move over to the 15-minute. 15-minute. Let's see what we got here. Let me zoom out. I'm just going through my thoughts right now, guys. 1 second. Okay. This is what I would do, guys. This is NZD USD, 15-minute. What I would do is I would place this trend line right over here. Actually, I would just keep that trend line in play, the one that's already on the 1 hour chart. That's a pretty valid trend line here. What I would do, guys, is I would wait for this market to come down to retest. Again, look how far away it is from this trend line here. Okay, it could do anything. It could go all the way up, it could skyrocket, or it could just completely plummet in one candle. I have no idea. Okay, market makers make the rule, and we can't beat them at their own game. So we can't trade against them. But our main purpose and our main goal, trading alongside myself, along with my top traders and elite team, is to trade alongside the market makers. Okay, so if we think like a market maker, we're essentially playing their own game. Okay, so like we're reading their rule book essentially. Okay, and so by reading their rule book, we can tell ourselves that we can do whatever we want here. We can bring this candle all the way down to the trend line and retest it in one candle. Okay, we could, or we could shoot it all the way up and play another 4 hours up here until it finally comes down to retest. So we have no idea what it would do. Right here we do, and right here we do as well. Okay, so again, I would just say to wait until it comes down to retest. Once the price comes down to retest this trend line, we have a better understanding of what's going to happen. If it holds, we're going to go long in. We're going to buy it again. But if it breaks, we're going to look for different indicators and confirmations to confirm our short play. Okay, maybe this horizontal line, maybe this 800 EMA, maybe a candlestick pattern, whatever it may be. But that's where the elite team comes into play. That's where the group chat comes into play. So we can give ourselves more eyes in the market and more confirmations and more indicators that we have in play, confirming our short play or confirming our long play. Okay, so wait for this to come down. Wait for it to come down. Odd USD. Let's look at the 4 hour chart really quick. Ooh, bullish market for sure. Look at that. Let's keep this trend line here. That's another reason, guys, why I say wait for confirmation too. I know this is a 4 hour chart, but just imagine this is a 15-minute. Okay, just imagine that we're actually scalping and we're looking for an entry play here. This is the 15-minute. Okay, what we would do if we don't wait for confirmation is as soon as this candlestick breaks this trend line, we would go short, right? But look what happens on the next candlestick. It goes all the way back up and actually paints above the trend line, and it continues to rise. Right, so that's why I always say wait for confirmation. Again, it could be a 5-minute candle, it could be a 15-minute, it could be another indicator or whatever. Yeah, what's up, man?
Wait, so you would say that AUD is on a bullish? I don't understand, like, why, like, is it because of the last, like, 16 4-hour candles that you would say it's on a bullish? Because if you zoom out, it kind of looks like it's on a bearish, and this is just a retracement. But that's just, like, that's just a question that I have for you, honestly. Like,
well, this honestly looks like 3 levels of drop here. Boom,
okay.
boom, and boom. And this looks like a reversal.
Okay.
So right now it is a bullish trend. What it can do is it can break this trend line and it can go short. Then that would be a bearish trend. But right now it's looking like a pretty bullish trend. Again, you can kind of argue that it still needs to come down to retests, and these are 4-hour candles. So for the next maybe couple of days, probably for the next couple of days, it might be a bearish trend just because it might come down to retest. But then again, that's hard to call because it's so far away from this trend line. It can do this. It can pull up with 5 4-hour candles and shoot up 200 pips before it actually comes down to retest here. You know. So, but then again, we do have this horizontal line. Let's see how valid this is right here. Okay, this is a pretty valid, yeah, this is a pretty valid resistance line. So, and look, it even tried to break it here. So, so I would say look at this intersection here. I would definitely say look for this intersection here. This is a pretty strong resistance line here. And also, this resistance line gives us the picture that this is a bullish trend. But then again, it could just retest without even breaking this horizontal resistance line. So, good eyes, Evan. I would probably say that this is a bearish trend until it breaks this here. Once it breaks this, then I would confirm it that it is a bullish market. Okay. Let's look at the 1 hour. Okay. Okay. I like it. I like it. Let's see how valid this is. Ooh, I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Okay, so we have this little freaking nuts. I took geometry like 10 years ago. We have this little polygon here, and I would definitely keep my eyes in this polygon area. So if you guys want to write this down, this is the AUD USD 1 hour chart, and we first have on our top horizontal resistance line a 0.71267 handle, and our bottom support line is at 0.70856. Okay. Also, we have this pretty strong trend line here that confirms a bullish market, but we're going to be looking for the retest. Okay. So we're going to see if it breaks any of these two. Sorry. We're going to see if it breaks these two horizontal support and resistance lines, but I think it's going to hold, and it might actually do this thing. It might actually come down here, pull back up, and then retest this diagonal trend line. Or it might do a little zigzag sideways crap that I don't like to actually retest and validate this trend line here. But let's look at the 15-minute to confirm. Okay, I see this here, and I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a heck of a lot. My God, I love that. Okay, that is beautiful, guys. I hope, man, dang it, I really want more eyes, man. If I can have $1 million, I wouldn't buy freaking Lamborghinis and Ferraris. I would just buy more eyes because I wish I can see this. I was super busy today, but what you guys can see here is a trend line, a pretty bullish trend line that has been in play since Thursday night of last week. Okay, we can see here it actually came down to retest, held, came down to retest, held, and it looks like it's coming down to retest again. Okay, so a lot of trend lines to confirm a bullish market, but just keep in mind these two horizontal lines to see if it breaks one of these two. Okay, because they both seem to be pretty strong. All right, so AUD is going to be a pretty fun chart to watch tonight. I'm going to keep my eyes on AUD. USD CAD. USD CAD. I don't know if you guys saw uh, my little chart that I screenshotted and I showed you guys, but on the, was it down here? On the 1-day market, no, I think it was using this candle as our bottom. Where was it? No, I think it was a lot sooner. I think it was over here. No, I think it was over here. Damn, I forgot where it was. Did you guys see that? You guys see that screenshot I posted? I think it was this one. Man, I don't even know what. Never mind. Just forget that, guys. Screw that. Well, it's in a bullish market. The 4-hour market. Let's see the 4-hour chart. Wow, that's ugly. That's ugly. That is a definition of a tidal wave. You guys see that? This is ugly. Okay, so this is neither bearish nor bullish. I really don't know. Let's check this out real quick. I don't really like that much. Yeah, it kind of comes down here.
I mean, the daily kind of looked like it was going on a downward trend from the top, but it did that before and then ended up going up. So, like, it's just a bunch of consolidating bull crap.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of tidal waves. Look at this. Look at this. Let me zoom in a little bit. You see this here? Huge rise, huge drop. Huge rise, huge drop. Huge rise, huge drop. Huge rise, huge drop. Huge, like, in just one 4-hour candle, just completely shifts the trend of the market. Like, completely retests in one 4-hour candle or two, and that's kind of ugly. My best guess, and this is ugly. This is so ugly, but my best guess is that it is slightly bullish, just because of this. Actually, let me pull it back a little bit to here, or maybe to here. I would say it's slightly bullish, but this is one ugly, ugly chart. Like, you give this kid like socks for Christmas, ugly. Like, it's bad. So let's look at the 1 hour. Yeah, I would say it confirms a bullish market just because looking at this right here, this is a pretty nice trend line here, even though it's pretty ugly. Okay, like in this USD CAD 1 hour, we do see it comes down to retest, tries to break, doesn't, goes up, comes back down to retest, tries to break, doesn't, again, again, and again. So my next play is to wait until it gets a little bit lower. Maybe that could have been a good spot to enter our long play, because I don't know how much closer it's going to get to this trend line here. Why am I zoomed out? I don't know how much long or how further it could have gone down to retest this trend line, because it did technically come down to retest right here, or we could have played it off that horizontal line too. But let's see if it comes down any further. Okay, if it doesn't, oh well, we missed CAD. We'll look at it again tomorrow. But if it actually does come down to retest of just a little bit further down, and if it holds, I will tell you guys to buy it. So look at the 15-minute just in case. And my thoughts are kind of the same. Yep, let me place this here, see how valid this is. No, it's not going to be valid. Actually, maybe. It held nicely here. It held nicely here. Nicely here. Held nicely here. Maybe. I'm going to keep it there. Let me see if it's a valid horizontal line. Okay? So, it's dancing here. It broke the 800 and the Mayo. So I would say wait for it to come down to retest around this area here, around the 1.32 200. Okay, the 1.32 200. And if it does, if it holds, just go long. Go long in USD CAD tonight. Let's look at the 4-hour chart of gold. It is a nice bearish trend. I like this trend a lot better, a lot nicer on the eyes. This is a lot nicer on the eyes. Okay? You see here, tries to break, doesn't, tries to break, doesn't. Went up to retest again. So we analyze the market. We notice a trend of the market, a bearish trend. So what do we not look for? We don't look for long plays. We don't look for long scalps. We don't look for long anything. We want to see, and we want to look for an entry on a short play. Okay? So we do notice this on the 1-hour chart. We do notice this. What else do we notice? We do notice. Let me put some down. That's pretty much it.
Hey,
Is that you, Mariano?
yes, sir. Dude,
Alright, cool. Hey, do you mind if you mute your mic while it's still loud over there?
It's still a little loud.
Yeah. Do you mind if you mute your mic?
Oh, yeah.
Cool, thanks, man. Okay, let's go back and let's look for an entry in gold. This is XAU USD. Zoom out a little bit. And again, what I would do, guys, is I would just wait for it to actually come up to retest. Because again, guys, the actual momentum, the actual trend of the market in gold is a bearish trend. Okay, I'm not going to look for any long plays. I'm actually going to look for it to actually wait to retest this trend line here. This is a pretty strong trend line. And again, if it holds, wait for confirmation. I can tell you guys to short it and close your eyes. If it breaks it, wait for confirmation, whether it's a 5-minute, whether it's a 15-minute, whether it's an indicator or two confirming our market movement, go long, close your eyes. Okay? So I believe it's going to follow this trend line here. I would say I always do have a little a little lie in my book if I do want to break it. This one, if it does actually come close to retest this trend line here, and if this is actually a valid trend line here, so if it holds, I might scalp it for like 10 pips and close out 10 pips before it actually comes down to, or sorry, comes up to retest this. But I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure how strong this trend line is. It only touches here once, so don't take my word for that. Okay. But oh, look at that. The Mayo holds pretty well here, and down here. We could have got that. We could have caught that. Well, that's okay. Okay, 10:01 p.m. Let me stop sharing my screen. And let me go back. Okay, awesome. So, did you guys have any last questions before I can give you guys a little bit of knowledge before we head out?
No questions on me, man.
Cool, cool. Awesome. Well, really quick, if you guys haven't already, Zevin posted a link in the group chat. I think it was over the weekend, if I'm not mistaken. But it was just about how retail traders like to trade and how they can get better. So there were just some tips that were thrown into that article, and something that really caught my attention was like the win-loss ratio of regular retail traders. And something that just really stuck out to me was the fact where retail traders, they actually win more trades than they lose. The only thing is their trades that they lose in, they actually lost a lot more money than in the trades that actually went in their favor. So they might have either pulled out too early or they had a bad entry, so they only grabbed a couple pips, whereas in their bad entries or their bad trades, they marry their trades. And I know I've told you this a lot before, but never marry a trade. Whether it's good or bad, never marry a trade. Okay, I want you guys to completely distance yourself from every single trade that you take in the market. Okay, this is a very mental game to play, and so only the strong-hearted and the ones that have a strong mindset are going to be a very successful trader in this, just because it's very intense in the live market. I know demo is fun. You guys like to place trades. You guys like to make $1 million in one trade with a huge lot size, right? But whenever you enter the live market, it's your own money. And so it could be a little scary at first. And so that's why you need to take all of your emotions and all your feelings out to the side whenever you're actually entering the live market, whenever you actually trade. Okay? So whenever I say never marry a trade, is let's just say that you enter a trade. Let's just say you enter the Euro USD. You think it's going to go up. It goes down for whatever reason. It goes down, doesn't go in your favor, and you think that, oh, you know what, I think it's going to come back up to retest, and I'm going to close out my trade whenever I'm neutral, whenever I go into profit again, or what have you. And guess what? Market makers, they see that. They see a huge amount of retail traders that have bought at one point, and they completely reverse it on you, and they're stealing all your money. And guess what they do? They continue to drop. It continues to be bearish. And so you marry your trade thinking that it's going to continue to, it's going to reverse and go back up when it never does. And it's never a 50-50 chance whenever you're actually gambling in the market. It's always like 10% in your favor, 90% market maker's favor, just because that's how it is. They know exactly what you're thinking, and they love taking your money. Okay, so never marry your trade, meaning if a trade doesn't go in your favor, knock on wood. If it doesn't go in your favor, then close out of your trade whenever you're at a 10% loss. Okay, the 10% is like the magic number. If you're at a 10% loss, that's okay. Just close out of your trade, wash it off, and start over. Look for another trade. Look for another entry. Okay. Also, whenever you enter a trade and it does go in your favor, just like I was telling Zevin, once you're up 10 pips, move your stop loss to break even. Okay. So no matter what, even though the trade goes back down to your stop loss, it's not going to affect you in a negative way. It's not going to hurt your account in a negative way. You're going to break even, and that trade is going to act like it never even existed. And that's okay, because it's going to take a huge amount of pressure off of your shoulders. And that is a huge thing to win over in the live market. Okay? Because before, I never really used stop losses whenever I first started trading, and it was just a scary feeling because you always had to look at the market. You always had to stare at the market. You always had to be on the market 24/7, and that's just a burden. What I have to do now, place my trades, okay, come back in a little bit, see I'm in profit, move my stop losses to break even, and then close my computer and go enjoy my day. Or now that I'm trading with you guys at night, I do like to look at the markets constantly and give you guys updates and feeds and trades and stuff like that. But I have a huge pressure load off my shoulders whenever I move my stop loss to break even. Okay, just like in case it rises again. Okay, so it moves up 10 pips, we move our stop loss to break even. If it moves further up, if it moves further down, whatever it does, if it goes still in your favor, move your stop loss up again 10 pips or 5 pips. So if the market goes back up, but let's just say it eventually hits your stop loss, it doesn't close out your trade with break even with $0, you make money off of that trade. So that's another pressure load off of your shoulders, okay? And the further it moves in your favor, the further you want to move your stop loss, okay? So you're going to be following the trade with your stop loss. That's going to be your second hand, basically, okay? The farther euro rises, the farther you want to move your stop loss, okay? And you, I was telling I think Justin this a couple days ago, that you never want to close out a trade manually. You want to get in the what's the word? You want to get in the habit of never closing out any trade manually. Okay? Just like you guys are demoing right now, you guys are practicing what y'all are learning in the lead team and stuff like that. Practice never manually closing out trades and only closing out trades using stop losses. Okay? That's really going to help you guys by closing out trades too early. Okay? That's really going to help you guys out by entering trades at a better entry point. Okay, that's going to help you out a lot of different ways, but moving your stop losses up further, it's going to help you guys out big time. You never want to close out your trades too early, because then, let's just say you go to sleep and you close out your trade, you wake up and the market moved another 200 pips in your favor, and you missed that 200 pips. But if you didn't move your stop loss up, or sorry, if you close out your trade too early, you couldn't have caught that. But if you moved your stop loss up, you can still catch that whenever you wake up. Okay, so it doesn't hurt you in a negative way to use your stop losses as your safety net and to use it as a way to manually close out your trades instead of you having to do it yourself. Okay, huge help there. Okay, so never marry your trades, good or bad. Never want to marry your trades. If it's not going in your favor, close out 10%. Just close out 10%. It's okay to take losses. Just like how I was telling you guys about our graph of starting from nothing and closing our live accounts or ending our trading careers up at the $1 million mark or six-figure mark, whatever you guys want to do. It's never going to be a straight line. It's never going to be a straight line. You're going to have days that you've made 200 pips, and you're going to have days where you've lost 200 pips. Okay, so it's going to look like a zigzag pattern, but our ultimate goal and our target is going to be here. So we are going to end up at that spot, but the only thing is it's not going to be a straight line. It's never a straight line. In business and life in general, it's never going to be a straight line. You're going to have some ups and you're going to have some downs. You're going to have some ups and you're going to have some big downs. But you're going to have some ups and you're going to have some big downs, some ups and some big downs and some ups. Okay? And so it's okay to have your account with negative trades in there. I know we say in the elite team we never lose money, and that's a fact because at the end of the day, we made more money than we lost money. Okay? But it's okay to see those trades and lose those trades because guess what? We're all human. We know that we're not robots. And so whenever you lose a trade, whenever you close out a trade with a 10% loss or a 5% loss, that just means, hey, the next trade we're gonna write it down, of course, in our trading journal. Hopefully you guys have that. We're gonna write it down. We're gonna see what we did, what we were thinking whenever we placed that trade, and what actually happened. So next time, whenever we're looking for another trade, whenever we're looking for a better entry, we can learn from that mistake, so we don't have to do that again. So instead of losing 5 pips, we're gonna make 10 pips on our next trade, or make 20 pips on our next trade. Okay. So again, guys, a lot of emphasis on the 6-month plan. If you guys haven't looked at that yet, please do. And if you guys are thinking about opening up a live account, let me know. So if you guys are having any questions about opening up with a certain broker or a certain leverage or whatever you may have questions about, let me know, and I'd be more than happy to help you out. And about the 6-month plan, really take that into consideration and really take that as our backbone. Whenever you guys are opening up a live account, whenever you guys are trading the live market, use that and have that as your strategy of, okay, whether it's 50 pips a day or 100 pip target a day, really take that into consideration. And if you guys want to print that out, if you guys want to laminate it like I have, if you guys want to keep it on your phone, whatever it may be, I like to scratch it out. Okay, so whenever I made a week where I completely busted the 500 pip a day or 500 pip a week target, or the 250 pip target, I like to scratch that out, just because I see I completed that week and I move on to the next one. And whenever I complete that and I accomplish that, I completely scratch that out and I move on to the next one. And that helps me, that motivates me to move on to the next one and just to continue what I'm doing, because the only thing that we're doing differently is just increasing our lot size. Okay, we're just increasing our lot size, and the farther and the larger that we increase our lot size, the more that we're going to make. We can cash the same amount of pips every single week, 500 a week, 250 a week, 1,000 a week, if we do that consistently every single week, but we just increase our lot size, our risk management is going to stay low because we have more money in our live account. But the thing is, we're going to make more money every single day, every single week doing that. Okay, and that's a very safe, realistic way of boosting our account from $100 to $500 to $1,000, whatever it may be, to 6 figures as fast as possible. Okay, again, with very low risk management. So, any last questions, guys, before we head out? Cool, cool. Well, thanks for hopping on, guys. I really appreciate it. Let's all be super interactive and super active in the group chat tonight, guys. It's going to be a great night and a very great week. My goal for this week is to help make you guys as much money as possible. So if you guys have a 50 pip a day target, if you guys have a 500 pip a week target, my goal is to help you guys bust through that target as bad as possible. Okay? So if you guys give me 110%, I'm going to give you guys 120%. So I'm in it as much as you guys are. Okay? So I'm going to devote as much time and energy and love into this as I can. So really show me that you want this. Show me that you're going to be a successful trader, and I'm going to be more than happy to help you get there. Okay, that's my purpose. That's my goal in this. So yeah, that's all I really have to say. Let's get together very soon, guys. I know we have a Sunday mentorship call every single weekend, but if you guys have any questions, or if you guys just want to have a one-on-one session with me, you guys have my number. You guys have my Facebook, so don't be scared to hit me up anytime. Okay, so let's be really interactive this week in the group chat, and let's make a lot of money. Let's catch some pips, guys.
Let's do it, man. Sounds good. Thanks, Mark.
All right, guys. I'll talk to y'all later.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah.
Later, guys.